Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one to provide spiritual tools and food and community. I am, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And we are going to be talking about attachment involvement today. With all the goings on in the world right now, I thought that was a perfect conversation to have. So first, let me introduce the team today. Our practitioner of the day is the wise and powerful Oz, and he will be praying us in here in a minute. We also have with us Albertina Giuffre, who's been a singer in our church since like 2000, and so it's so wonderful to have the team back together. I'm very blessed to have that. So I would like to invite you to close your eyes. If that feels comfortable for you, allow the service to uplift you and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the
presence of God, always, everywhere, where we are. Take a deep breath, and as I inhale that presence of God. And as I exhale anything that makes me think that that is not so. For I know that as I go deeper past the concerns of the world, I find myself, and as I go deeper there, all my concerns and worries can be released with that exhale. And going deeper still, I find that stillness, that presence, that here and now moment, and the comfort and the transcendence it brings. And that peace is always available. That peace is right now, here where I am, and here right now where you are. For God is there, always, everywhere, and everywhere. God's presence, universal, eternal. And that presence is peace itself, is beauty itself, is perfection itself. And I know that this force is what creates our world every moment. And as we allow that perfection to stream forward, we enjoy its abundant blessings, its great grace, and its perfect perfect unfoldment. But I accept that perfection rolling forward into the lives of all listening, here, now, or in the future. I know that that perfection is always there, always present, and I let it roll forth and be a blessing to all. And as I know this is so, I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Thank you, Faith, for getting those. Faith worked so hard on these videos that we've taken prior church services, and we had a choir back then. So it's really nice to hear everybody again. If you are joining us, please do me a favor and say hi. I don't have any way to see if I have an audience or not. I see a couple people have said hello already. I really appreciate that. It's our way of being able to know if we have an audience. So just say hi if you pop in. And if you like something that is said today, you're going to want to use your the little thumbs up. If you are loving something, always hearts, we love that. And if I say something today that wows you, or if the songs wow you, please feel free to do the little I like that little face, the little wow face. Today we are going to be starting to do a lot of Karen Drucker music. I have to tell you, this wonderful, amazing woman who's been the music director in 3 of our churches in religious science has gifted us with her entire collection so that we can use her music. So we really appreciate you, Karen, if you're out there listening anywhere. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to let Tina take it now to do Walls and Windows.
Did you sing your children lullabies to calm their fears at night? Do you hold them gently till they went to sleep? Did you plant in them the seeds of love for a new and better life? Did you make them promises you couldn't keep? Do you think of me as enemies, or would you call me friend? Will we let our differences destroy us in the end? The wall that stands between us could be a window too. When I look into the mirror, I see you. Do you have sunsets bright with me, the way I told mine do? Do they send you photographs on foreign land? wonderful superpower who's man. The because he has enemy or to call me friend. Who will let our differences destroy us in the end? All the sense between us is the ocean. When I look into the mirror, I see you. Move ahead, we see the signs of what's here. No need to stand and dream and dream. Doors and windows rise into the distance every day. Look into the mirror and see fear. Do you think of me as suddenly or will you be friends? Will we let our differences destroy us in the end? All that stands between us could be a window too. When I look into the mirror, I see you. All that stands between us could be a window too. When I look into the mirror, I see you.
Oh, thank you, Tina. I misspoke myself. That actually was Elaine Silver's music. We're doing Karen Drucker's service after the service. But Elaine Silver also was the first one to step forward and ask us to do her music. So we really appreciate you, Elaine. I don't know if you're listening out there either. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about attachment real quick. With all the goings on that are happening in the world right now, I think this is an appropriate topic for us to discuss today. Attachment, let me define attachment for you first of all. You can be attached to an item or a person, or you can be attached to an outcome, or you can be attached to the way things look or the way things feel. You can become attached to just about anything. And the truth is that a certain amount of attachment is a good thing. It's when we get overextended on the attachment that it becomes an issue. And I'm going to put up a chart here in a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But so that's what attachment is. Involvement, on the other hand, is something like, how do I show up for something? If I am totally involved in something, then my 100% beingness is involved in it. And, there's pros and cons of both of these. I mean, like if you are too attached, it's not good. If you're not attached enough, it's not good. If you're too involved, it's not good. And if you're not involved enough, it's not good. And so we want to maintain a nice balance. And let me put this little chart up and it'll kind of give you an idea. So when you look at the top, it says attachment. On the side, it says involvement. And we have 4 quadrants that we're working with. If you have high attachment and high involvement, you have aggression. And that's kind of what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of aggression, not only because we've been locked down for the COVID-19, but now this thing with the death of, Floyd. And so we're in this place where The rioters are feeling aggression, the protesters are feeling aggression, the police are feeling aggression, and everybody's kind of locked into that place. But let me tell you that aggression is not always a bad thing, because if you want to be an activist, for example, you have to utilize that high attachment, high involvement. You have to be in that quadrant to get anything done. And so it's not always bad and good. There's always a pro and a con to each of these quadrants. Although I really have a hard time finding much good in apathy and complaint, but that's okay. But with aggression in particular, if we utilize that aggression in violent ways, it becomes not a good thing. If we utilize that aggression in positive ways, trying to make changes in the world, then that's using the aggression in a good way. And it means that we are highly involved. In other words, we're putting our whole self in, and we're highly attached to the outcome. And so what I see happening in the world is I see that, the people who are rioting and looting have high attachment, high involvement, aggression, and are not utilizing it to the best advantage. I also see that the protesters who are trying to make their voices heard are using high attachment, high involvement as well. And they're in a place where they need to be to affect change. And I'm really proud. I have a friend in Minneapolis I was talking to last night. I'm really proud of the governor there, who is trying to give them a voice, trying to allow them to speak their truth, that they are angry and that they are saddened by all of the things that have happened to Blacks over the years. I remember in the 60s, it was a very similar situation in the 60s. And I was even watching this, I can't even remember the name of it, something in Fury, about Martin Luther King. And I was seeing how it was juxtaposed upon, it was like the same scene. You would swear it was the exact same thing that was happening. And so I started thinking about that in terms of, we have this high attachment, high involvement from the government, especially in Minnesota. But the governor was saying we're trying to allow people to express themselves and their anger and their disappointment and their fury. We're trying to, we're balancing that with the need to protect the community. And so you have these police officers and National Guard who are stepping in, and they have high aggression, they have high involvement, high attachment. And then you have, these people who are from the outside coming in and looting and doing all of that and causing destruction like they did in the Watts riots. And so I started thinking about this quadrant and how important it is in our lives, but also how detrimental it can be for a community if that aggression gets out of hand. So on the opposite side of that, and I'm going to go diagonally because I want to juxtapose those two things. So you have complaint at the bottom there, which is low involvement but high attachment. Have you ever been in a job where you feel like your voice will never be heard no matter what you say? And so you're in this complaint. In other words, you want to complain about things, but you don't feel like you have any power to change anything, so you don't want to do anything. So you're not involved, but you're very attached to the outcome. That's the quadrant down there in the right-hand bottom that is about the complaint quadrant, and that is, again, that is high attachment and low involvement. And a lot of the protesters, I think, feel like they are in that complaint quadrant, where at this moment they don't feel like they actually have any ability to change anything. And so right now, what they're trying to do is they're trying to let people know that this is what's happening. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, there's pros and cons to each of them. And then I'm going to go to the left here and talk about apathy, because apathy is when we have low attachment, low involvement. And that is where people give up. That's where people who are have an alcohol problem, who are alcoholics, or who have a drug problem, that's where they live. That's where the suicides happen, because they aren't attached to this world. They aren't attached to anything or anybody anymore. And they have very little involvement in life. They don't see any reason to become involved in life. And so when we have that apathy, I find very little good that happens in apathy. because there's a real difference between surrendering. We talk a lot about surrendering and giving up. When you give up, you no longer care about anything. When you surrender, you say, I accept the way things are, and I'm willing to surrender to this moment. It doesn't mean that you're giving up. It means that you still have involvement, you still have attachment. And that's more of the empowerment, which is up in the right-hand side there. When you have low attachment and low involvement, you feel like you can't do anything. You feel like there's nothing left for you. And that's a really hard place to be. And so let me talk a little bit about empowerment, because as you notice on the right-hand side over here, both of those lower ones are victim places. And like I said, not necessarily always a bad thing, although apathy, I don't know. Complaint, sometimes being that victim gets you what you need, but it isn't very often. Because when you're in a victim stance, I want you to okay, so I don't know if you can see me very well, but here's the posture of a victim. And here's the posture of a victor. So when you're a victim, you're saying, I can't do anything about this. This is all happening to me. I don't have any control. I don't have any power. I am powerless. And you just sort of go down like this, and you hunch over and you squeeze off your solar plexus. And when you feel empowered, you say, I realize that these things are happening and I'm willing to take responsibility for them. But you know that you have some power. And that's what the difference is. When you're a victim, you feel like you have no power to make any changes. When you are a victor, you feel like you have the power to make a change. So when we have a high involvement and low attachment, that's empowerment. When you are totally involved, 100% present in life, and you are involved in the world, and you are willing to take on projects, to go and work out, to do something about your weight, to do something about your health, to do something for yourself financially. All of these things are the empowerment quadrant. They allow you to be totally 100% involved in the world. And then you have very low attachment. In other words, this or something better, God. I have been in those situations where one door closes and another one opens, and I have fought it. I want everybody to do just a little exercise with me. Well, actually, if you have a problem with your arm, don't do this. But you can just let me demonstrate it for you. Let me, you can't see me, so I'm going to take this off for a minute. So if everybody that can do this will do this with me, I will show you the difference between struggling against and allowing. So you take your hand like this. Let's see. Let me do it that way. Okay. And you press down until you don't want it to be painful, but you want to press down until you can feel a little bit of pain. Okay. Now I'd like you to close your eyes and breathe from your belly. Just breathe in all the way from your belly. Hold it and release through the mouth. And then you're going to go ahead and breathe again. Big breath in. Hold it and release. And now take your hand and just sort of tickle your arm. Get it to relax. Allow it to just relax. And with your eyes closed, I want you to push down again. Push down until you feel like you can't go any further. And now open your eyes and look at your hand. Look how much further you got down when you allowed. And that is where the empowerment comes in. We are allowing the world. So I stay in the state of empowerment and the state of awareness and acceptance. And then I am able to involve myself 100% and just allow whatever comes from that to come. So when one door closes, another one opens. For instance, when we lost our facility, it's taken me a few years. I finally get it now. But when we lost our facility, I was willing to just allow, and we met in a restaurant for a while. And that was kind of cool because I felt like we were the 12 disciples. And the format changed, and I was okay with that. And then that stopped working, and I just sort of hung back all these years. That was back in, 2012, we lost our facility. I think we stopped having church in the restaurant in 2013. And I've just been silent and waiting for what was going to come. And in that allowing space, I tuned into my mentor minister, Marlene Morris. And she does this thing called Spiritually Speaking. And she's been doing it live. And it has been so powerful for me. And so I was watching her and I thought, I could do this. I could really do this. And so we did our first live on Mother's Day. No, what day was that? I don't know. We did the first day. We did the first live episode. And then I found this software that allows us to invite guests in. And I was able to assemble my team again. And now it feels like that place where I was with allowing it to be different than what my original conception of church was, has allowed an expression of God that I had never seen before or experienced before. And I'm really happy with the format we have now. I mean, there's some bugs, sure. We're working on it. But the truth is that I was willing to allow it to happen that way. And I want us to think about our lives. Think about which quadrant we're in. Let me put that back up there. Which quadrant are you in right now? Are you in the aggression quadrant? Have you moved into apathy? I certainly hope not. Are you in the complaint quadrant? Or are you allowing yourself to be empowered by everything around you, by tuning into this service, by doing things for yourself that make you feel better? Are you a victim or are you a victor? And that I don't say that with any judgment, because we all go through all of those stages all the time. It's not like this quadrant is where I live. We cycle through those quadrants. And I find that the more that I am willing to sit in the empowerment quadrant and allow life to happen and not struggle against, the reason I showed you that is I know we're all we really don't like wearing masks. I know we really don't like having to social distance. I know that we really don't like what's happening in the world right now. I know that we don't like that we have curfews. I know that we don't like any of those things. But if we struggle against them, it's painful. We don't have to suffer. We can experience pain and let it flow through us instead of sitting in that tent of pain and struggling against it and suffering. So my life has really been about, as I've learned through all of the things that have happened to me in my life, what I've learned is that if I can just stop struggling against it, because what you struggle against will continue. What you resist persists is the actual quote, I think, that Ernest Holmes did. What you resist persists. And so the more I resist, the more that I stay in that place of either complaint or apathy or even aggression, the more I sit in those places, the less powerful I feel and the less my life works. I look around and I see, okay, so this is not exactly the happiest situation. Do I really like wearing a mask? No. But if I struggle against it, what are the options? I can either go out and expose myself to COVID, or I can stay locked in my house. So the mask seems like an easier thing for me to do. Do I like that? We're not allowed to, like, my sister came over the other day and she's, I don't know, Joey, are you 52? I think she's 52, or she's going to be 52 this September. And for the first time in my life, I couldn't hug her. And that really struck me, that we've always hugged and kissed. That was part of what we did in our family. Do I like it? No. I look forward to the day that we can hug again. I look forward to the day where I don't have to socially distance from her and her family. But I accept that that's the reality. I'm not willing to struggle against it, because struggling against it again, I either expose myself to COVID, and maybe, Lynn only operates on 30% of his lung capacity. So I can't bring COVID into my house. I just can't. And so I can struggle against it and harm him, or I can accept that this is the new reality. So I think that as we go forward these days, we really need to focus on what is the new reality that we can imagine for ourselves. I don't think it's going to go back to the old reality anytime soon. And struggling against it just doesn't work. It doesn't serve anybody. But what we can do is we can recognize that we are reimagining a new reality. We are reimagining a new life, and go forward accepting those confines, if you want to call it that, these new differences in our life, accepting those and being willing to be open to what God's vision for our life is, that we can exist in perpetuity, really, in a joyful state no matter what. We don't have to be upset. We don't have to be angry. We can be. Nobody says you can't be. We can be sad. We can experience the grief of all of it. Those emotions are perfectly normal. However, if we sit in that tent forever, we never move forward, and we never feel empowered, and we never feel like we have any power in this world. But if we are willing to accept what is the reality now and what can be the reality later, and just sit in that and allow ourselves to embrace the new life that we have, and embrace God's vision for our life, and enjoy ourselves. I now have a newfound relationship with my porch. I mean, I've always loved my porch, but these days my porch has a new significance to me. I'm sure Oz feels the same way. He has this beautiful back patio that has these screens, and it's a Frank Lloyd Wright kind of design, so everything's got angles, But it's so nice to sit on that porch and it just be with the flowers and, all of the sounds, and just be in that. And I think that all of this stuff has given us a new appreciation for those things, because the world has gotten quieter until last week. The world has gotten quieter, and there's not that much noise. So when I sit on my porch, it seems like such a quiet, peaceful, loving place to be, which has never been that experience for me before. It's always been, oh yeah, this is great. I like to sit outside. Buddy likes to sit outside, my bird. My dogs like to sit outside, That's always what it's been. And I have enjoyed my garden. But this year, somehow this garden has taken on a very new significance to me. And I begin to appreciate so many of the things that I took for granted when I could just jump in my car and go somewhere mask-free, where I could just walk up to strangers and hug them in my church. That kind of thing. And so I look at that as I'm highly involved in my life. I am 100% present in my life, but I am no longer attached to what this reality looks like. I am open and receptive and accepting that there is a new reality, and it has my name on it. Let's have a prayer. So I move into this awareness right now that God is simply all there is, all there ever has been, all there ever will be, only God. That in the flowers and the trees and the silence and the noise and everything that happens in this world, God is present 100%, because God is simply all there is. And so in that knowingness, I know that for myself, that it is who and what I am. The heart of God beats within my chest. The life of God lives through me. The love of God flows through me. The beingness of God is just simply who and what I am. My very essence, my very life, my very being. I know the same truth for Tina and Oz and Faith, for we are one in that infinite presence of God. And this service is the outpouring of God's message through each one of us in our own particular ways. I know the same truth for all who are on with us today, that we are one in that infinite power and presence of God, that all we are is God. God is so much more, but we are of it, in it, as it. I know the same truth for anyone who listens later, because this blessing extends to the world, for all are one. We are Floyd. We are the police. We are the protesters. We are the instigators. We are the community. We are the life and breath and breadth of God, who and what we are. One power, one presence, one life, living itself through us. So I bless this coming week with a knowingness of that beauty, of that life, of that love. And I do know that that is what comes forth, that through the ashes, the phoenix is reborn. And that phoenix is love. That phoenix is compassion. That phoenix is the life and breath of God as it breathes itself through us. I accept for all of us the peace and harmony that rises out of expressing what's inside. When we are true to ourselves, and when we allow God to be the power that drives us, when we become open vessels through which God's power operates, we become those absolute agents of God on earth. And so I bless us this week with that awareness. And I accept it in our names right here, right now. And I just let it be with gratitude and love. And so it is. Amen. Miss Tina. Now she will sing Karen Drucker's Gentle with Myself.
I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be gentle with myself. I will be gentle with myself. And I'll hold myself like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will be tender with my heart. I will be tender with my heart. And I will hold my heart like a newborn baby child. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I'll love myself like a newborn baby child. I will be easy on myself. I will be easy on myself. And I love myself like a newborn baby child. It's fast, the lost, the slowest part of me. You'll say to go, and I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me. You'll safe to go. Now I know I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. I am gentle with myself. I am gentle with myself. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I hold myself like a newborn baby child. And I love myself like a newborn baby child.
Thank you, Tina. I would like to encourage you to purchase music from Karen Drucker. We're going to be tithing to her out of everything that we receive, because I want her to get something for sending us her entire collection. But I would also encourage you to buy her music. She has such wonderful stuff, and there's like 20 CDs, I think it is. Some of them are chants, and some of them are just regular song CDs. She has songbooks available. She has sing-alongs that you can purchase. You can download one song if you like it in particular. And so Faith is going to put up Karen Drucker's information so that you have that. Let me get into there we go. Oh, good. She put it up already. Also, the first song was by Elaine Silver. So I'd like you to encourage you to buy Elaine's music as well. She's quite prolific also. And maybe one of these days we can get maybe both of them, Elaine and Karen, to come and speak, because they both do speaking as well. Elaine does this wonderful mixture of speaking and song. And I know that Karen Drucker just does some amazing, she's kind of a comedian, and she does these amazing talks. So maybe we can get her to come up. And then I want to ask you, let's see, let me do all the announcements here of the products and things. It was like my little mask that I got from my cousin. I love it. If you would like to purchase not only the mask for $20, that includes shipping, and message her for that, but also the link to that is Brooks Ltd, which is Brooks Limited. And she has the most amazing designs. They're one-of-a-kind things. She's been a designer for, a long time. We won't talk about how many years. But she used to have a place down in Cherry Creek that was an actual store. Now, let's see here. I can do it. I'll do it. There we go. That's what it looks like. And so after Cherry Creek kind of did their renewal rehab thing that they did. She moved into a studio downtown, and she still has that studio. She is seeing people by appointment only these days, but she also has a collection that you can buy online. So check out Brooks Limited. I think you're really going to like what they have. All right, let's see what else. Bracelets by Bailey and Brooks. Let's see. Let me get Mala's. I have to find all this stuff. We've got different ones here. I know I used it on Memorial Day, so it's got to be there. Is that it? That's not it. Darn it. I got to get this all situated again. We did it on Mother's Day, didn't we? Yes, there it is. Ha! Whoop. All right. So my niece makes these wonderful bracelets that she gifted me. I showed you a couple of weeks ago. They're wonderful, and they go to proceeds go to the Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue. You want to contact her at brooksandbailey307@gmail.com, and she'll custom make them for you. I wanted, of course, amethyst. You know me. So she made me an amethyst one, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I encourage you to help fund that. I think it's a foundation. I'm not sure how she has it set up, but it's a worthy cause. So do that. All right. Check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. I have been listening to sermons, and we're because we have the whole service recorded. So I'm listening to the service, cutting out the sermon, and we're going to be pasting it up into our website so you can see our previous sermons. And we're also going to be uploading videos of all the sermons we've done except for Mother's Day, which they cut us off from. But anyway, so check out our website, and let's see. The next thing we're going to do is the offering. Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. I get all confused sometimes with all these things, all this technology that I have to deal with. All right, now is the time for us to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and for your opportunity to show that you are grateful to have more than enough to share and to spare, grateful for that which is manifested but has not yet shown up in physical form, or those things that have shown up that you're grateful for. Please click on or go to oasiscsl.org. Oops, I'm just bad. She's going to put it in the comments. Don't pay attention to me. Okay, it's already there. Don't pay attention to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, click on that. Go down to the bottom where it says donate now. I like to think of donate as like a one-time offering or one-time thing. And I want to encourage you to contribute to our to the message that I'm giving out, to the community that we're building, to the work that we're doing. So if you can do monthly, that would be really awesome. Please click on that button. And if you're watching this later, you can still participate in the blessing of our contributions by following the instructions. We have put the offering affirmation on right before the button, so you can say it along with me now, or if you're looking at it later, you can say it along with me as well. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Whew. I love that song. It puts me in that state always. So I would like to invite you to, in the comment field, if you would like to have prayer this week. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners coast to coast who will pray on those requests every day for the next week. Also, Oz, the Wise and Powerful Oz, is available for our 1 minute miracle today. And it's a time, not a time for counseling, but a time when you can let him know whatever challenge you're experiencing, and he'll stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. So all you have to do is initiate a video chat with him. His name is Bob Oswald. Can you put that up there, please? And if you would also like some counseling, our licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. And what you can do is go on our website, again, oasiscsl.org, and look at our practitioner team, our God Squad, and see, you can see their picture and some stuff about them, and, you know, decide which one you want to talk to, and then message them, and they will initiate a video chat at the time of your appointment. But I wanted to let you know that that is available. Also, if you would like prayer, I need you to type prayer in the, oops, I gotta get to the comments, sorry. If you could type prayer, then we will put your name into the Ministry of Prayer, and our God Squad will pray on those every day for a week. If you would like to participate in our God Squad, no matter what your denomination, we always welcome prayer partners. So if you would type yes, we will put you in as a prayer partner, and we have a Facebook group that gets these prayer requests, the names, the first names only, and the issue. And they will pray on those, like I said, every day for a week. And if you would like to make the commitment to do that, we would be happy to have you. And for those of you who are joining us maybe for the first time and have never been part of our community, we also have a Facebook group that is for our community. So if you would like to be involved in that, in other words, you would receive notifications that we're going live. You would get notifications if we offer events. I will be offering classes eventually online. So if you want to do that, just type more in the comment field. I think that's it. Did I forget anything? No. I think we got it. So let's have a prayer.
We go forward into this week knowing that God's presence is with us, in us, as us. We allow for the best to happen, or better. For this, we give great thanks, and let it be so. And so it is.
And so it is. Okay, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. Join us here every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Tune in next week and every week for our Sunday celebration. Bye until next week.